Hey Graham, I'm doing your tarot card reading. I'm starting your tarot card reading. Today is the day after the full moon, and I don't know about you, but I am feeling it in a big way. I am so tired and moody. I got in a fight with my mom and I cried. I've said it before and I'll say it again. This Cancer season did not come to play, it came for all of us. So, we're going to get some clarification for your situation. If you need to take a minute right now, get a glass of water, get yourself comfortable. I recommend watching this when you can be completely comfortable, whether that is you need to have the house to yourself or, late at night or early in the morning, just whenever you can feel the most open and vulnerable, I suppose, safe to be open. So, get yourself in order and then take a few deep breaths. Just a classic grounding, cleansing breath. Get yourself centered. Get yourself open mentally and spiritually for the divine wisdom that this bitch has in store for you. I'm pausing. I'm giving you a minute to go do your things. This is a one take kind of a deal. I can't promise it's going to be good. Like I said, very tired. Very. I'm not sure what the word is for it. Yeah, so. Alright, that's long enough. This is YouTube, and I just remembered that you can just pause this shit if you want more time to go get your glass of water. So, I thought it was interesting how that you asked me to split the deck in two and count down 4 and all that shit. So I kept it split in 2. And I'm going to read from this first pile. Just asking to kind of validate and verify where you're at right now and where you've been at in the recent past, last few weeks, let's say. Could be further out than that, last few years. But what patterns you've been in and really not wanting to give up too many cards. Just interesting. I think I'd like 4 cards. I think I'll just take 4 from each pile. Unless more really want to come out or they really only want to be 3. And I did pre-shuffle everything and do my own little meditation ritual over this space beforehand, both now and when I drew the High Priestess. So, 2 of them. God, this is so many, but whatever. We'll roll with it. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Oh, Bobala. You know that I relate to your journey and the struggle is real. So, there's a little bit more here than I was planning to jump in on. Let me just sit with it for a second. And I'll invite you to do the same. So many reversals. That's interesting. Well, in terms of like your current situation, it's really not. I don't think any. It's no surprise there. Can you see that? Oh, you can't see it. Yeah, it's the Tower reversed. And also the Eight of Pentacles reversed that came out with it. Let me try to adjust this. Sorry, I'm an amateur YouTube filmmaker, in case you didn't pick up on that. Alright, that's a little better. Tower reversed, Eight of Pentacles reversed, the Knight of Swords, the Moon reversed, which just like, I don't know, there honestly always is like a slight element of doubt or self-doubt every time I read the cards, because it's just, I don't even know why, because this always happens. It just always validates whatever's going on. Anyway, then there's the Three of Cups and the Ten of Wands reversed. So in terms of like patterns of the past, these two came out so strongly together that I feel like they're their own thing. Like they're maybe the current time or like one particular time period. And this is maybe more of like the more broad overarching cycle of patterns over maybe like the last few years. Nine of Swords energy is very mental and it's very rushing forward, kind of just blasting through life. God, it's hard to read this and not also sort of attribute it to myself, but I guess that's just how life goes. So what I'm kind of seeing is like these cycles of finding community and unification and sort of blossoming and thriving, and then ending up with that kind of turned on your head. Like, the Ten of Wands is always such a tricky, hard to interpret. I feel like it's very self-explanatory, kind of. But this has to do with broader spiritual truths as well. Like the wands are the suit of the divine and divine questing and like divine intervention, divine inspiration, the kind of miracle of life, fire, and representing blossoming plants as well, trees particularly. Yeah, honestly, I think I'm kind of just gonna be doing a real introductory touching on these because of where my capacity is at right now, and I'll circle back to them later. But it might be kind of good to just have a quick little breakdown, and then you can sit with this as long as you want and do your own research too, because there's just so much depth you can get into with each card. But I guess to summarize, like, the Eight of Pentacles has a lot to do with work, and this being reversed, I mean, I just happen to know that this is true for you. You're kind of reassessing career trajectories and goals and what is worth your time, like what is worth putting in this diligent of, oh, come on, bitch. There you go. You know, he's perfecting his craft and like fulfilling his work that actually calls to him and means something to him and maybe means something to the world. His dharma. Tower, I mean, you have to know. You just, come on, do I need to say anything? It's kind of interesting that it's reversed. I mean, I feel like to me, that kind of denotes something that I also happen to know is at least partially true for you, that this tower moment has kind of happened already. So you're in the fallout. Excuse me, you're in the fallout. And part of that tower moment is, work upheavals. Even if you move on to something better, it is fucking draining. I know I'm drained from that whole experience, and that type of experience as a repeated pattern, it's incredibly draining. And it's mentally taxing to be trying to figure out what your Eight of Pentacles calling actually is, and how to fucking provide for yourself in a way that's sustainable. Anyway, the moon reversed. It takes me a while to get into the reading because I'm always like, oh yeah, that's obvious what that means. And then I'm like, wait, no, it's not. My job is to explain it. But the moon, somewhat obviously, represents the subconscious mind, our emotions, the unconscious world, dreams, the night. And it's typically a card that can be associated with like fear and not knowing and confusion and nightmares. It's weird to me that anyone has like a negative connotation of this card. I don't know if people do, but some people do. Some interpretations do come off pretty foreboding. I just think it's the feminine realm, the watery. I mean, this is a Cancer card. Like, yeah, not surprised at all that this came up. So I don't really get like a scared feeling from this card ever. I mean, I love the moon card, but I guess I'm a witch. So the dog and the wolf here kind of represents the two different sides of your subconscious mind, which are equally tamed and equally wild. You get the idea. That being reversed kind of makes me think there's a lot of repressed emotions, a lot of fighting certain emotions, possibly overthinking them, and running away from them. As the Knight of Swords can be wont to do. Not that he doesn't have great qualities, he's probably an excellent communicator and he can get shit done. But at what cost? I mean, there's definitely some. Swords can be kind of harsh. It's swords. When you think about it, a lot of the symbolism in tarot is very literal. So I love the Knight of Swords. This also represents air energy, communication, and he does have that red feather in his helm, and that generally denotes a seeker or one who's on a pilgrimage. All right, I'm gonna pause here for a minute, and then we'll get into the real meat, pile number 2,